Hi, I'm Scott with GNZ Financial, and welcome to Chapter 5 of our series exclusively for state of Michigan employees that we talk about your roadmap to retirement. Welcome. Again, we're going to talk about your roadmap to retirement in our on-demand webinar series. And again, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And more importantly, thank you for everything you're doing with the state of Michigan. So as part of our roadmap to retirement series, we have 6 different chapters all about your different state benefits and how you can take proactive steps to maximize your benefits for your retirement. Today, we're talking about Chapter 5, Healthcare. Healthcare is one of the biggest costs for retirees. As a state of Michigan employee, you have some unique benefits, and we'll talk about those today. So again, Chapter 5, Healthcare. So healthcare and retirement, there's really 3 different plans, really based on when you were hired. The first one is the defined benefit premium subsidy plan. This is for people in the pension plan, the defined benefit plan. And again, this is for members in the defined benefit plan, and it's a continuation of your health care in retirement, with the state subsidizing and paying for a portion of your health care. One thing to note, though, is sometimes we had people in the pension plan that converted over to the defined contribution plan. If you did that, you're still part of the defined benefit healthcare plan. All right. So again, under this plan, the state's subsidizing and paying for a portion of your premiums. Right now, it's 80% of those premiums before the age of 65. So the state's paying for 80% of the premiums. You're paying for 20% of the premiums. And then after age 65, we're eligible for Medicare. Everyone here, age 65, you're eligible for Medicare. Medicare Part A is free. Part B, we have to pay a little money for, and that will typically come out of our Social Security check. All right. And then anytime you have Medicare, we want you to have a supplemental plan. And the good news is your state plan can be the supplemental insurance. For people in the defined benefit plan, the state plan can be secondary insurance to you at no cost. So the state will pay for 100% of your benefits. Again, some of the best insurance in the country. This is the first column, people in the defined benefit plan. And then we move on to the defined contribution plan. So for the defined contribution plan in the graded premium subsidy plan, this is for defined contribution members that were hired between March 31st, 1997 and December 2011. And you didn't choose the personal health care fund, you chose the graded premium plan. And so your health care varies. It's based on your years of service, and it starts out, and that's why it's called graded. It's graded. It changes over time. And with 10 years of service, the state will pay for 30% of your health care. And then every year it grows by 3% each year. All right. And then when we get to 27 years of service or more, the state pays for 80% of your health care. Hey, that's the same 80% that we had in the other plan. All right. The only difference is between those plans with 27 years of service under the age of 65, both plans will pay for 80%. It changes when you're eligible for Medicare. Again, Medicare is primary insurance. You can use the state as secondary insurance. If you chose that in the defined contribution graded premium plan, the state would pay 80% of the supplemental costs. You have to pay for 20%. Still, some of the best insurance in the country. That's for people, again, the defined contribution graded premium plan. And then we go to the last plan. This is people in the defined contribution personal health care. So again, this is people hired after December 31st, 2011, and you're in the personal health care fund. So unfortunately, you don't have state health care in retirement. And so the state's giving you a little extra money to go into your investment account now to hopefully offset some of those healthcare costs. All right. So you'll see that money show up in your 401k or 457 as personal healthcare fund, but it's not restricted for healthcare. You could use it for other purposes. All right. And again, under this is you're putting in an extra 2% of your salary into your investment account. The state's then matching that 2%. All right. So again, as a state of Michigan employee, you have some great healthcare options. When we talk in our one-on-one meeting, we'll talk about your unique situation. Are you single, married, maybe with kids that will be covered on your retirement plan? We'll talk about our best estimates of what those healthcare costs will look like. So I mentioned kids. Yes, you are eligible to still have your kids on your plan. They changed that rule a couple years ago in February 2024 that loosened the restrictions. So before, your kid had to be a dependent of yours. They had to be going to college for them to continue your health care, and they had to be under the age of 26. They did away with a lot of those restrictions. Now the retiree health care is very similar to the rules of an employee. If your child's under the age of 26, they can continue to be on your health care. So I love this. This was a win for families and a great change. So I love that. I always like to talk about that. So your healthcare checklist. I always joke I'm married to a teacher, so there's always homework in life. Here's some of your homework as it relates to healthcare. So number one, what healthcare plan are you a member of? Check ORS. It should tell you there. If not, when we meet in our one-on-one meeting, I joke I have a secret decoder ring. I can tell based on your paycheck what plan you're in. And how does your planned retirement date impact your healthcare coverage? Sometimes it can have a significant impact. So we want to understand that and make certain we're building that into the overall plan. What will your healthcare costs look like in the future? We'll talk about it, right? And upon your death, will your spouse be able to continue to participate in healthcare? We'll talk about that. If you're in the pension plan, we have to make some elections as part of your retirement paperwork to ensure that. All right. Will your children be covered in part of your plan? And how will it impact the price? We'll talk about that. And Medicare. Again, at age 65, you're eligible for Medicare. Medicare Part A is free. Part B, we have to pay a little money for. And so typically we would have Medicare as your primary insurance. And then your state plan can be your secondary or supplemental insurance. We'll talk about that. And then long-term care. We truly believe that everyone needs a strategy for long-term care. It's expensive, but it doesn't mean you have to go out and buy long-term care insurance. We want to think about that and think about managing risks as it relates to healthcare. One of the biggest costs for retirees, as well as long-term care. So again, we'll talk about all of those things in our one-on-one meeting. For state of Michigan employees, we offer a complimentary one-on-one retirement planning meeting. Our thank you to you for everything that you do. All right. So, so far, your roadmap to retire, we've covered a lot of different topics. Chapter 1, what plan are you in? Chapter 2, the defined benefit plan. Chapter 3, the defined contribution plan. Chapter 4, Social Security and investments. Chapter 5, healthcare that we just covered. Our last chapter, Chapter 6, is the conclusions, wrapping it all up. And how do you take control of your own retirement? Please join us next for Chapter 6. So again, we always like to talk about knowledge is power, potentially. You need to take action, all right? And some action items. Watch our next chapter in our series, the State of Michigan Roadmap to Retirement. Subscribe to our channel. We're going to have more and more information come out exclusively for State of Michigan employees just like you. Please subscribe and check it out. And if you have an urgent need to talk with someone, we're here for you. Please reach out. We offer a complimentary one-on-one meeting for all State of Michigan employees. You can schedule your meeting using that QR code, scan that, or down in the comments section below, there's a link to our calendar. We're here for you. Please reach out if we can ever help. And lastly, thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing with the State of Michigan. We truly appreciate it. Take care and talk soon. Have a great day.